The Washington Capitals, the Montreal Canadiens. Who did you select in your SDPN bracket? Which, by the way, you can get in the link in the description right now. Over 3,000 people have signed up. Do you think that you can beat Steve Dangle? Do you think you can beat Jesse Blake? Myself, Adam Wylde, producer Drew. And by the way, there will be prizes this year. You get points for every correct answer, and obviously the points escalate as each round goes up. So sign up right now. Again, the app is in the link in the description. It's the Spark app. Sign up, get in. Steve and Jesse, we have got ourselves a pretty interesting series because normally a 1 seed and an 8 seed, you're like, well, we kind of think we know, right? and maybe we do. But the Montreal Canadiens made a post-deadline acquisition of a player who's pretty good in Ivan Demidov.
Yes.
They also have played extremely well. Jesse, on our main podcast, you pointed out a stat about the Montreal Canadiens on December 1st. Where were they?
31st in league standings.
Above only who?
The Blackhawks.
So they were behind the Sharks. They were behind the Nashville Predators. These Montreal Canadiens are now in the playoffs. It's crazy. It's amazing. And the vibes are high. And I'm just wondering, how far can vibes take you against a team like Washington?
Well, the series that keeps getting brought up is the Leafs versus the Caps in 2017, and the Leafs played the Caps very well. 6 one-goal games, 5 games that went to overtime, a total of 6 overtime periods. The Leafs lost. So, like, oh yeah, they were really close, but you lost, right? So, I think that would be a decent outcome for them. Obviously, a better outcome would be winning the series. The only way I can see Montreal being able to win the series is if the right emotions are captured. If it's just about hockey, they're screwed. The Washington Capitals are too good. It's not about the Habs. You got to hope that you're this young team that's going to ride this high of being in the playoffs, and we did it, and we got here, and we're playing with house money. And you got to hope that the Caps are emotionally exhausted from the OV chase and took their foot off the gas. Can I give you a number that is important for the Montreal Canadiens?
Please do.
And it's a reason why you can feel good about betting on them. 82. Here's your number. Suzuki played 82 games. Caulfield played 82 games. Hudson played 82 games. Slafkovsky played 79. Brendan Gallagher played 82 games. That guy's always hurt. Jake Evans played 82 games. Christian Dvorak played 82 games. Armia and Anderson played 81. Matheson played 80. Newhook played 82. They have enjoyed ridiculous luck when it comes to health.
Which is something they never had in the past.
Which is something they haven't had for quite a few years.
Jesse, I'm starting with, I have to start this with the same way we started with Steve, which is how can the Montreal Canadiens, if they're going to win this, how could they do it? How could they possibly do this? Because it seems quite overwhelming.
Yeah, it'd be strictly a vibes pick to pick Montreal at this point because of how they ended the season. If it was a couple weeks ago and the playoffs were heading into, we were getting into the playoffs in like early April instead of like mid-April, I think it would make a little bit more sense to pick the Canadiens because of how much of a run they were on at that point. But things seem to sort of trail off towards the last few handful of games of the seasons. But the Montreal Canadiens, like, it's not that they're not a bad team at all. Like, there's a reason they're in these playoffs, and they can score. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to be able to get a couple goals on the Caps, and we'll see if the Caps goaltending can hold up in terms of
is Logan Thompson
Logan Thompson going to be in net? Like, that's definitely a question. But for them, it's got to be a great performance by Montembeault, and then up front, like I said, with the scoring, they got to have Suzuki playing at a next level. They have to have those power play goals from Line A because that's where he's going to get his goals. You got to get a couple from Demidov, even though he just got there. There's going to be a little pressure on him. Then from the back end, like Hudson and Gooley got to be the all offense, no defense defensive pairing because that's what they've been the last little bit. And they need to be able to outscore the Capitals, I think, to win this series because I don't think they're going to really go into a hard shell and win it a 2-1 game or anything like that.
No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to be able to do that. Let's play a little over-under. Last season, Tom Wilson had 16 penalty minutes in 4 playoff games. Does he continue his pace of 4 penalty minutes per game?
You would hope not.
I'm thinking not. No, he's too important to the Caps. At some point, Tom Wilson, it's like I tried to become a fighter and I accidentally became a hockey player. That's sort of what he turned into.
The Washington Capitals at the trade deadline didn't really add all that much. Anthony Beauvillier, who is, if there is a trade deadline, Anthony Beauvillier is getting moved at it. But he has played well since being there. He's playing on the top line with Ovi and Strome sometimes. Like, that's pretty cool. But you look at this lineup, it's Ovechkin, Strome, Beauvillier, McMichael, Dubois, Wilson, Mangiapane, Eller, Ryan Leonard, Duhaime, Nick Dowd, Taylor Radish. That's a pretty solid upfront group.
Dubois going up against the Habs is legitimately funny.
Okay, why?
Well, because he was at the draft a few years ago because we were all convinced he was getting traded there. And I think he was too. I don't think he was there just because, I got some friends in town. He thought he was going to become a Montreal Canadien. And now he gets to play playoff games in Le Centre Bell like he hoped, just with another team.
Washington last year getting into the playoffs was an accomplishment. But we look at the Habs this year, it's like, that's just a fun money team. Like, go have fun. Next year, the pressure will start because then there'll be expectations, right? For Washington, this year, I don't know what the expectations were, but they weren't expected to be this good. Do you feel like Washington has a ton of expectations or doesn't because they've surprised everybody already?
It's a little bit of a burn the boats situation. Like, you don't know 100% that Ovechkin is not retiring this offseason. He said he's not, so let's assume he's not. But there's no guarantee through injury or whatever that you're even better next year. They could be. They definitely could be, but there's no guarantee.
Well, they have both the Protas brothers, so.
Yeah, it's Ilya Protas joining Alexei is absolutely, or do I have it the other way around? No, Alexei is the older one. Ilya is the younger one. I get confused because of the Oh Wow videos. There's no guarantee you're better next year. This probably is the best opportunity you have left to get Ovi another cup.
Jesse, do you think there's expectations on Washington that they might be feeling, or is it sort of just one of those like, hey, we're even better than anybody thought, and we're just going to enjoy this too?
No, there's definitely expectations on them. You don't finish first in the East and then you're happy with like a first round exit or anything like that. They should go on a deep run here. Like, they have enough talent, and like we've seen throughout the entire season, that guys we didn't think were at this level can play at this next level. I'm talking about like Sandin and Chychrun being a great left side, and having Faravari there on the third pair. Like, they're a really solid team, and I want to mention Strome too, who like nobody's going in that line and being like, Strome's going to be the first line center on the best team in the East.
Led them in scoring.
Who's going to be the first line center on the best team in the East? It's going to be Dylan Strome. Like, that's not a thing anybody thought, but all of these different parts of their team rose to this occasion. So I think, like, now that we know what they are, there should be some expectations, and they're going to live up to them because of the talent around the team.
Now, we know that, Jake Chychrun obviously is getting another run at the playoffs, which he didn't get a lot of in Arizona or Ottawa. Nope. Rasmus Sandin has turned into a top pairing defenseman for the Washington Capitals.
Very good player.
But I want to look at the Montreal Canadiens defense a little bit, because obviously you have Mike Matheson, who is a veteran. David Savard, just today, as of this recording, has confirmed this is his last season in the NHL. But you've got a really good young group, Caden Gooley and Lane Hudson among them. What are reasonable expectations for a guy like Lane Hudson in a series like this?
Well, first of all, I think it's crazy that David Savard went into that game 82 that the Habs needed to win to clinch, knowing that could have been his last game. So I think that's crazy. That's a lot of expectations to put on Hudson, who, like, ice time does not go down in the playoffs. They're going to be leaning on this guy even heavier. If I'm Washington, that's the easiest assignment ever. Like, just in terms of knowing what it is. Hitting Lane Hudson is easier said than done. I don't think he got tagged too often this season. He played 82 games.
No,
right?
He did.
But with the pace amped up, they're going to, the first couple games especially, when you can control the matchups and everyone's got the adrenaline pumping, they're going to try to hit the crap out of that kid.
Jesse, how many points do you think, like Lane Hudson, 66 points in 82 games, unbelievable season. What do you realistically expect from a rookie?
I think Lane Hudson will be good. Like, he's proven that he's NHL talent. I don't know about the defense. Like, there might be a couple holes there, a couple mistakes that lead to a couple Washington chances. But in terms of offensively, like, the kid's as good as any defenseman on the back end in the whole league. So, like, he'll show up for this.
Okay, now prediction time, because this one's tough. Demonov's in. You got a whole bunch of unknowns on Montreal's side. You got a whole bunch of knowns on Washington's side. Whereas they're a tough team. Spencer Carberry, great coach.
And
Could be coach of the year.
Sneakily, a few guys who went to the Cup final in 2021.
Who was that? Who you got?
Suzuki, Caulfield.
Oh, yeah, true.
I think Savard was with that team too.
Yes, he was.
There's more.
There's some experience.
There's more DNA there than you think.
So, what do you give it? I'll start. Who wants to start?
I'll start. Habs make it fun. Caps in 6.
Jesse.
I'm going Caps in 7. I think Montreal's playing with house money.
Yes.
The whole goal of this thing, I think, by the end of it, was to just get into the playoffs, and now they are in the playoffs. So if they lose in the first round, like, what a successful season it was for this team that was at the bottom of the standings last season and halfway through this season. Like, this season's a great season for Montreal. I don't think they should be disappointed with a first round exit, and I think they're going to lose in 7 games.
Agreed. I'm going to go with Washington in 5, and it's not because I want to disrespect the Habs. It's because one or two of these games is going to overtime, and whenever it goes to overtime, I give it to the more veteran team. And you can make the argument, hey, Montreal's got a lot more playoff experience than Washington does. Maybe that's true. I mean, they did have some people there that went to the finals. I do think
it's a variety.
Ultimately, I'm going to give the edge to the Caps, overwhelmingly so, but I don't think a 5-game and out series is going to look bad on the Canadiens. Everybody's going to look back on this and go, man, they did such a great job, though, even though they only won the one game. That's what I think. So
interesting.
Sign up again for our playoff bracket challenge right now. If you disagree with any of us, show it. Put it down. Make it public. Okay.
Put your name on it.
Absolutely. Sign it up right now. The link is in the description. Also curious to hear in the comments what your predictions are.